Okay, so here we have the class position. So what I usually do, in order not to go often to the Word document, I'm going to make here a comment, and I put all the question in the NetBeans. So that will save you a lot of time. Okay, this is something that you can do. It will save you a lot of time when you develop your code. So you have everything in front of you. You don't need to go back and forth to the Word document. اوكي ممكن حتى تختصر بعض الاشياء. position class نشيلوا الاشياء اللي ما نحتاجوهاش فيها 3 attributes. Okay, so we put the attributes here for the attitude, and you can put the example. It's not a problem. So you put only the information that you need. The concept of encapsulation and data hiding, I will put it here to remember. Define full argument constructor, copy constructor that calls the full argument constructor. Okay, the string representation is as the following. This is the string representation, and lat and long have 4 digits after the floating point. So these are the requirements. These are the requirements. So the first thing you need to do is to define the attributes. And here I got some questions. Okay, what's the type? I didn't say about the type. It's clear. Now when you see the latitude is like this, and longitude is like this, can it be something other than double? It cannot. Okay, this one also is not an int, it's a float, and already here I specified it has 4 digits after the floating point, so it's double. It cannot be an int. Okay, private double latitude, okay, private double longitude, and private double altitude. Very simple. Okay, so now we need to do what? We need to do the set and get methods. I'm going to insert code, not to spend time on this, but here you need to focus on data validation. So here, the latitude, I'm going to do if lat. Okay, so what's the condition here? So the latitude must be between these two values. Okay. So if lat is greater or equal to minus 85 and lat smaller or equal to 85, so in this case I will do the assignment. Else throw new illegal argument exception. Wrong latitude. It's very simple. Yesterday I was going around and some people just reading. You know, you should jump right away into the coding. Okay, but try to optimize your time. Okay, on how you solve the problems, how you read the problem and understand the requirement. And now we have the second requirement is about the longitude. Same thing. I'm going to skip going to the set longitude here. So you can speed up time. No need to write everything. Just copy this one, for example. Okay, and change this value to minus 80, and here 180, and I change this to LNG. Okay, and then else longitude value. Okay, so imagine that you have to write everything now from scratch. You spend a lot of time doing these things. Okay, and you can see in few seconds we've solved the first requirement. Okay, so what else? Okay, so this one is done. I will delete it. Encapsulation data hiding is done. I will delete it. Now, full argument constructor and the copy constructor. Simple. Okay. Now, you can write public position and the full argument constructor. Now, if you want to save time, you can make insert code. Constructor, you choose all the fields for a full argument constructor. You generate, you save time. But this is not sufficient. This is not sufficient because here you need to make this dot set latitude. Okay, because if you don't do this, you are skipping the data validation inside the constructor and you will have issues. Okay, here longitude, set, and finally this dot set altitude.
For this, I put set latitude. I didn't do this dot set.
No problem. Same thing.
Save.
Same thing. Yes. Same thing. It's not an issue. Same thing. Okay. Now we've done the full argument constructor. Everything that you do, just remove it so you don't forget any requirement. And then a copy constructor that calls the full argument constructor and the default constructor. Okay. Now I'm going to do this the following. Take this one. You come here, I make a comment. Now it's public position. And what is the copy constructor here?
Position.
I need to do position P. And calling the argument constructor, it's here. This dot get latitude. Or I can do also get LNG, P. Not this, it's P. P dot get longitude and P dot get altitude. So I'm going to copy all the information from the position P, okay, into the object. So this is a copy constructor. Is it clear?
Yes. Can we also do this p dot lat?
No, this is P. No, doesn't make
have to
sense.
get
No,
that.
this is an object and P is an object. We cannot make two objects. Okay.
Like instead of p dot get lat, can I just say p dot lat, or is that not?
No, it's not. You cannot have it. It's private. You cannot do P dot lat. Here inside, yeah, because you are inside the class, you can do it. But
That's preferable.
that's the standard. Yeah, that's the standard way. Because we are inside the class, and the default constructor, it's a constructor that doesn't have any argument, and we can use this dot 0.0 or just only this. It's fine. So either you use this one or you don't put anything. If you don't put anything, that's also a default constructor, because by default all default values will be equal to 0. Okay, so we've done the default constructor. Okay. And the last requirement here is about the toString method. Okay. Now I can speed up the toString method. I can do the following: insert code, but it's not going to give me the same. It's not going to give me the same output I need. Okay, so I'm going to take this output and I will use a string.format to make it the same. Okay, so this is not the preferred way on how to do it. I'm going to remove this, and I will use a string.format. And let's start with the format, which is the string. So here, I will take all of this, copy it here as it is. Okay. just to make it correctly. That. Okay, now what we should do? We should replace this one, so this one will be %point for f, and this one %point for f, and this one %point to f, and here we will do this dot get latitude, this dot get altitude, and finally this dot get altitude. That's it.
Doctor, what's the at override?
Yeah, this is, it means, I told you last time that the toString is defined into the object class, which is the parent class for any other object in Java. So this means we are going to change the definition of the toString method. Okay, instead of printing a reference to the object, it will print the following toString format. That's pretty much it. So while there is, okay, I need to close this one. Difficult? Simple. It's a matter on how we can work smartly, not hardly. Okay? So now this is the first question. Now for the second question, the same thing. We're going to do the location class. So I'm going to take all the requirement as usual, and I'm going to create another class which is called location. And I will put the requirement, and I will start. So the location class defines a particular location that contains an address object. Okay, it's already provided. A position coordinate, an ID with type int, and the name. So 4 attributes. And here we are going to use what? This is the has a relationship, which is composition. So we have an object inside an object. Okay, so let's get started. It has an address object. So I'm going to make private address. And address object is already provided to you here. Okay, it's an object that also contains a street object. And street, it has a street number, a street name, and a quarter. And then the city and the country. So we're going just to use them. I don't need for the moment to go to all details. Private, we have also a position attribute, and we have also an ID, which is an int, and we have private string name. So again, since these are private attributes, I need to insert the code for getter and setters for all these attributes here. And then I need to check whether I have any kind of data validation. We don't ask for any data validation here. So that's fine. Define a full argument constructor, a copy constructor, and the default constructor. Same thing. Okay, I'm going to start with the full argument constructor. So this is the first requirement. Okay, and I will insert the code for the constructor, select all the different numbers here. What I need to do? Yeah, okay. I will define set methods. This dot set address. Okay, and this one now dot set position, and set dot set ID, and this one is dot set name. So the second requirement, this is a full argument constructor. It's done a copy constructor that calls the full argument constructor. I'm going to take it. Public. What is this one? It's location. And location. And I will use this location dot get address, location dot get position, and location dot get ID, and location dot get name, and semicolon. Is it clear? And the last requirement for the constructor is a default constructor. Yes. Okay, yes.
What's the difference between lighting get address in this public location and just lighting this location?
Where? Here?
Yes.
What you want to write instead?
This location. Then
What does it mean, this location?
do we need to light get
You mean like this?
Yes.
It's not a there is no difference. I mean, it will work both, but this is the standard way.
I know it works with me, but I'm asking is it?
No, yeah, this is the standard way. When you use encapsulation, it's better not to have direct access. So inside the class, it's possible, but it's better to use the get method. Okay. Okay, so the default constructor here, it's an empty constructor. I'm going just to make it as follows. That's it. So what is remaining now? We completed all these attributes at the toString method. Okay, now the toString method and the formatting. It's simple. Insert code toString. And I will do string dot format so this is an example. Okay, now how are you going to do that? So this is percent what? This is percent s, and this is what? Okay, now let's start by this one. How to get, this is the city. Okay, how to get the city? So where the city is located? Inside what? Where?
Inside address.
Inside address, okay, and then we do dot get what? Get city. Okay, so here we use encapsulation. Okay, we have object composition. We have the object, the current object, it has an address object and it has an attribute city. Okay, so this is composition when we have an object inside another one. Okay, the same when we have the student with the birth date. We use student dot get birth date dot year dot get year or get month or get date. Same thing. Okay, and then we have the latitude. Okay, so the latitude is percent what? Percent. No. Okay, so this one. Percent. point for F, and here percent point for F, and here it's percent point to F. Okay, I made one. Okay, it's point F, one F. It's not okay. One or two is not a big deal. Okay. So this is for the city, and this dot. How to get the latitude? Get position, get latitude. This is the first. Okay, this is the first element we need. And then how to do? This dot get position dot get longitude, and finally this dot get position dot get altitude. And now we are done. And here we have applied the property of composition that has a relationship. You see? Difficult? Very simple. Is there anything difficult here?
Needs practice.
Hmm?
Practice.
This is the first rule. I mentioned in the beginning. If you don't do practice, you're not going to reach. You can understand, you can explain, but you cannot respond in the exam unless you practice. You need to practice as much as it will let you smooth in writing code. Okay? Don't tell that the quiz is very long. No, you are very slow. But the quiz, now I'm discussing, I'm explaining, I'm almost finishing the quiz and you still have time. Okay? You'll have 50 minutes to work focused, so you'll be able to solve it, but you need to practice. Now what I recommend you, today, before coming tomorrow, you do the same quiz from A to Z on your own. Now, you have already seen the solution, right? Now try to solve it your own way, without seeing the solution again. This will be an excellent practice before coming tomorrow to the second hands-on activity. You will be given 50 minutes to complete a similar quiz. Okay, so I want you to perform much better. Okay, now we're almost done with the last question, the location test. I'm going to create here a location test. And public static void main string args. Let's bring the requirements. So copying all the stuff over here. Okay, so I don't need this information. Write location test that create an array list of 2 location objects. So first of all, we create an array list of location object. So this is a generic class. We will have a complete lecture on generic classes. We will understand what does it mean. But this is on how we define an array list of type location object. So what is the name here? Locations equal new array list of location, and we call the constructor. So I need to import array list. We need to import it. So I need to create these 2 objects. So how to do that? So locations dot add, and they will create, I need to create a first location here, location 1. So I can do that. I can make location 1 equal new what?
New location.
New location. Okay. So I have a default constructor here. I can create object by object. But if we want to use the full argument constructor, which is this one, look, now here you have to be careful. So this is the full argument constructor. First of all, we have to create an address object. Okay, so there is an address object I need to create. Address 1 equal a new address. Okay, and the address, it comes from here. So inside address I have a street. I have a street object. I need to create a street object. Street 1 equal a new street. Okay, maybe you don't remember the constructor. No problem. I'm going to bring the constructor to identify. Okay, this is the constructor of street. Bring it here in front of you. So N is what? Is the ID. What's the ID here? It's 1. Okay, and then I have what? I have string NA, the name of the street. Okay, Abu Bakr Road. Okay, it's a string. And then I have what? The quarter. What is the quarter? Morsalet. Street, the quarter, yes. Now I have a street, street 1. Now I need to create the object of type address. So let me bring the constructor of address. See, this is the constructor of address. You need to bring it, otherwise you will be lost. You don't remember what's the constructor about. So here, the first argument, it's a street. I have already created the street. Okay, and then it's a city. What is the city here? It's Riyadh. And what is now the country? Saudi Arabia. You need to do it step by step, because this is 3 object composition, an object inside another object. Okay, so you start by creating the inner object, the one that is the most inside, then the next one, and then the outer one. You do it in cascade. This is the simplest way. You can do it in one line. It's a bit complicated. I'm going to show you, but this is the easiest way. You start by the inner object, then the one after, and then the outer one. You can have even 5 objects in cascade, 6 objects in cascade, 10 objects in cascade. You know, this is the steps. These are the steps. Okay, so now I created location. So what is location now? I have address as the first argument. Now the second one is position. And again, I need to create a position object. So what is position here? It's what we've created on the top. I'm going to bring the position constructor just to remember about it. And here we will have to create a position object first. So position equal P1 equal new position. Now I need to find the information. Look, it provided me the information. These are the values. These are the values I need to put here. Just bring all of these here. You don't need to type them, you know, just copy paste from the requirement. It will be much faster. Now I created the position P1. Okay, let me call it here position 1, it's better. And then the second argument, look, in the location I have address and then position. Now I have position, this is address 1, position 1, then ID of the location. What is the ID of the location? It's 1. This is the ID here. It's 1. And the name of the location, it's called Riyadh.
Okay, isn't this one for the array?
Just a moment. Okay, the name is Riyadh here. Now, for the array list, after creating all these objects, I will add it to the array list. Okay, now I need to do the same thing for location 2. Just copy paste all this stuff, change 1 by 2. If you write everything from 0, you'll spend a lot of time. You need to work smart. You need to work smart. Whenever you can copy a code, reuse it, change it, do it. Otherwise, if you are going to write everything, slowly, you need 3 hours to complete. Okay, so this is what I expect from you. Now, okay, let's look at the street here. I'm going to change, this is the street, the name of the street here, and this is the street number. Okay, this is the country here. This is the district. And so I'm going to put street 2 here. This is the city, and this is the country. Now I will look for the GPS altitude here. Paste it. Put comma. And here it will be address 2, position 2, and ID is 2, and the name is Sfax. And that's pretty much it. I have created 2 locations and added these 2 locations into an array list. That's fine.
The ID is 3 or 2?
Huh?
The ID for the last step.
This is 3, the street number, and 2 here is the location ID. Okay. Okay, now let's look at the other requirement. I have 3 more requirements. I will bring them down. Okay. Change the altitude of the second location to 10 meters. How to change the altitude of the second location? So we can make locations dot get second location dot I want to change the altitude. What is the altitude?
Yeah, position.
It's inside position. It's like we have a box inside the box inside the box. Now the outer box is position, and then dot set altitude 10.2. Okay. Then change the number of the street address of the first location to 15. How should we do it? Locations, it's the array list, dot get 0, dot what, the number of what? The street. What is the street? Inside address. Okay, dot get street name, dot set number 15. Yes. It's as I told you, it's like you have multiple boxes, each one inside the other. But you have to do it in cascade, one after the other. Okay? And finally, use a for loop to find and print the name of the location. Using a for loop, find and print the name of location and its position coordinate in the following. Okay? So we use a for loop. How do we write it? Yeah, for int I equal to 0, I smaller than.
Arrays dot size, locations dot size.
Yeah, locations dot size. Yeah, this is what I want. And then. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah. And we need to print, okay, system dot out dot println in the following format. So Okay, let me make a string. Look, this format is what?
Same as the one we made.
Is it the same as this one?
And then
To string or no?
yeah.
No, it's not. It's not the same. So we need to print it one by one. I'm going to make a new string format. String dot format. Okay. So I will take all the stuff here. So this is %s, and this is percent point for point for f, point for f, and point for 1. Okay, so what we should do, we will have location dot get I dot get address dot get city, and then locations dot get I dot get position dot get latitude, and then I will do the same thing for longitude, and then I will do the same thing for altitude. So this is LNG and this is altitude. Okay, and finally I will print S, and that's it. Now if I test,
The percentage.
where is the percentage? Yeah, it's running.
But there's point for F. So you forgot to put the percentage.
Yeah, percentage, yeah, okay.
For the point.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that's it. That's the whole stuff. Okay, so try to do it. I know that you'll find difficulties, even if you have seen the solution, but that's not a problem. It's better to face difficulties now rather than the exam. Okay, so you have until next week to finalize all your problems.
Can I see the photo?
Yeah, I'm going to send you the code. I will send you the code, I will send you the video. Okay, try to do it at home. Sorry? No, next Sunday. Yeah,
Thank you, doctor.
you're welcome.